right, let's go to get this thing started. So, of course, today we're going to be talking about social media, how to become a local icon. I have Lizette Sabrina here. So, I know that this is a little bit different. I'm going to encourage you to have questions at the ready. It is, of course, a little bit of a different format than we're used to. It's not quite so much focusing on scripts and skills. This is going to be a completely different basis. So, with that being said, without further ado, let me go ahead and have Lizette.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So I have a few people here. It would be super, super helpful if you turn on your camera so I can see who I'm talking to. I'm also going to be hosting it on Instagram Live, which we're going to talk about a little bit. So just to get started, I want to also share my screen. So can I do that, Robert? All right. So social media. I know this is a lot different than what you guys are normally used to, especially with going, to Robert's scripting classes and everything. So this is also another part of our business. If you are a business owner, you're a realtor, you have to be somehow involved with social media. I don't want to tell you you have to, but you kind of have to in this time because it's so important for people to know who you are and also have those skills behind it. So that's where Robert tells you guys, shows you guys what you need to say and how to say it. This is going over who knows you and how I've built my business. I'll go ahead and give you guys, because today's topic is becoming a local icon, especially in real estate. Of course, we want to be known as that go-to person in our area. So what does it mean to be a local icon? So just so you know, it means to be highly visible and consistently present in the community and in all ways, right? So to be seen as a trusted resource for any services that you provide. So I know we have some business owners on here that provide different types of services, but it's not just, so it's not just realtors on here. So in 2023, if you guys didn't know, let me throw out some stats here. Over 70% of consumers have favored businesses involved in community causes, especially when these businesses offer authenticity, which is huge, huge, huge. Okay, and personalized services or experiences, sorry. So out of 50 of 100 people will engage with local businesses online. Okay, so even just by personal experience, if you're looking for a really good place to eat when you're out of town, where do you go? I'm going to bet that it's online. You're going to go to your Google, you're going to go to Instagram, probably TikTok, just kind of seeing what are people doing, where are the good spots, where are the hot spots that people are going, and where should I be? So that is going to be the number one thing. Now, if you show up where people are looking, then that just elevates you into that presence. So 75 out of 100 online presence boosts your local recognition and loyalty. So when people are looking you up or they look you up I'm from Central Valley, obviously I put it there. So if they're looking up Central Valley, good spots to eat, and I show up on that search of, featuring a restaurant that I really liked and I enjoyed it and I wanted to share it with everybody, well, they're going to eventually start seeing me there. They're going to see me everywhere else. And it just builds that trust, that recognition all over different platforms. All right, let me also turn. Yeah. Okay. So who's talking? All right, I'm talking. So I have an Instagram. I have YouTube. I have all of the platforms, but I put this on here. So I'm from the Central Valley, Central California. I'm a real estate agent, and I put this on here because I'm like, I got this when I went to an event, and it's called Fresno. So I'm in the Fresno area as well, and I think this is the most important, I guess the feeling that I got during this time was when I was just going into an event and somebody was like, hey, you're that real estate agent. I was like, yeah, I'm that real estate girl. So I'm that real estate girl. To show you guys just a little bit, I didn't know this person, somebody just, but they knew me. And so to have that at least clouding my name, it's important. Okay. So next, I want to go into knowing and choosing your platforms. Okay, there's so many things that you can get involved in right now, and it can become a little overwhelming, okay, for some. Now we have Instagram, so I'll go through a couple of them. And if you didn't know that there was this many, now you're gonna learn. So first, let's start with Instagram, which is one of my favorites. Instagram, it tends to go towards an audience that is, I guess, maybe in the 25, 30 age range. Okay, people and younger. But these are going to be the people that are scrolling for entertainment. They're scrolling to see what looks good. They want to learn. And so Instagram right now is pushing out a lot of reels. Okay, so video is so key, especially in Instagram and TikTok. So knowing that these two platforms are prioritizing reels, that's where a lot of my focus goes into, but also mixing into everything else, okay? So we have Instagram, next we have Facebook. So Facebook tends to have a little bit of an older crowd, and that's okay because our crowd is gonna be everywhere. We just gotta know how to navigate through different platforms. And our Facebook could be maybe for events, maybe locally that you're hosting. You're trying to reach different audiences. Maybe they want to know a little bit more about articles that you're reading, any books, anything like that. That would be the place to go. So next, YouTube. So YouTube is more focused on the longer form content. Okay, so Instagram versus YouTube, they're going to be videos, but there'll be different types of videos. So shorts, maybe short videos, can also go into YouTube as well. Okay, next we have Google. Okay, if you don't have a Google page, get a Google business page. This is a lot that people are going to be searching on Google. If you do it, you know a lot of people around you are going to do it. So be on Google, get a Google page. It's free. Literally all of these are free. So get onto them. Now you have TikTok. So TikTok is going to be the most hottest thing right now, right? So TikTok are going to be the short form videos. You want to make people interested within probably the first 2 seconds that you have their attention. TikTok is a place that you can grow very fast, but you have to be super consistent with that one as well. Okay, we also have Pinterest. Now you're thinking, well, maybe my business doesn't really involve Pinterest because it could be just a lot of photos or maybe blogs or whatever. But Pinterest can also be another source for you. Okay, LinkedIn is another platform to consider, especially as a realtor or as a professional. You're going to reach other professionals in that platform. Okay. Now another one next to it is called Nextdoor. Nextdoor is on the up and coming. It's not something that a lot of people are on right now. So that is something that you can really start plugging into. Nextdoor, and what that is a place for neighbors in a community to start. And you might be seeing people that are talking about what's going on in their neighborhood. Maybe they have a lost cat, maybe lost dogs, but it can be so much more once you start plugging into that as well. Okay. Now, I had a neighborhood event not that long ago, but had a neighborhood event. I had a yard sale with over 40 homes participating within one farm area, one neighborhood. Where did it go? That information went into the Nextdoor app because I knew people wanted to still participate. People still wanted to go into there. And there's so much activity. It's like a Facebook, but for your neighborhoods. Okay. So that is another up and coming one to really consider. Next, you have X, which was the X Twitter. That one you can definitely use as well. That's going to be more for your, if you're familiar with Twitter, then you know how to use that. What I want to tell you guys with this, which is key, is pretty much what you're going to want to do, and what I've done is I've gotten onto all of these platforms and I've chosen to specifically focus on one or two or three. So there's so much to get overwhelmed with. You don't need to start with all of them. Okay. Maybe have an account for all of them, but at least choose a couple to focus on. So my focus has been through Instagram. Okay. My focus has been through Instagram. I've chosen Facebook. I've also chosen TikTok. And I'm slowly incorporating a little bit more of Google, a little bit more of LinkedIn, a little bit more of YouTube. So over time, just kind of pick which platforms you want to focus on and grow. Now, as you're creating content for these platforms, you can then start leading people into your next platform. So I do some posts that are, on Instagram. I'll be like, hey, follow me on TikTok. And so from there, my audience, whoever's watching and whoever's interested, they will go to my TikTok. And that way it does become something that, okay, whether they're on Instagram, they're on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, any of these, they're going to see me on the scroll. Okay. So if I'm posting on TikTok, I'm going to tell them, follow me on Instagram. And so it's more of a strategy as to get them to see me. And it's almost creating that visual, well, you're everywhere. Yeah, I'm everywhere on the scroll. Okay. All right. So the next is, let's talk about some strategies. All right. So if you look at my content right now, you're going to see something posted in one of four of these categories here. Okay. So the key is creating captivating content. People who want to stop their scroll, they want to see you, they want to either learn from you, be entertained, engage with you, or be inspired. Okay. So first, let's talk about educating. So education posts, this could be carousel posts, it could be still posts, they can be videos as well. So educating and telling your audience, this is what I do. This is what I want you to know, and why should you care? Okay. So really, I've learned this from the past. People, they need to be told why they should even care. Why should they care? So showing and telling them what you do, and maybe teaching them, giving some tips, some tricks as to what you've learned in your business. And hey, that's something that they'll stop their scroll for. Stop their scroll for. All right. Next is to entertain. So people, and like yourself, so I really just reflected onto myself as to, okay, what do I like to watch? What do I like to see? And I think of those things when I'm posting. Okay, is this something that's going to catch my attention? Is this something that I'm going to enjoy, or I'm going to learn from? Maybe if somebody is going to learn from this or be entertained. So I also take that approach as well. So creating some entertaining content as well is mixing that in. So you might see some funny content, you might see some trending videos. Day in the life is a super common and very popular one as well. People just want to know, okay? So they want to know you, they want to know what do you do, and yeah, they want to be entertained. So now the next, and which is super easy, I'll also say that too. Okay, let me see. So which is also super easy, because once you start seeing these videos and you start seeing, just kind of doing your research as to what is really captivating maybe other audiences, then you start maybe seeing what you can do in your niche to be able to flip that. Mine is real estate, obviously, but if I see something that is trending, that's popular, that's, getting a lot of attention, I can somehow flip it into, and it's not in real estate, I can somehow flip it into being something related. Okay. All right. So now, next is to engage. So engaging with your audience is very crucial, especially when you're trying to build your brand, you want to be talking to your audience, okay? Learn what they want to know more of. So when you're posting into your stories, maybe in Instagram or even on Facebook, you could also do this. Ask questions. Okay. Ask questions, take polls. People like to do those things. It's interactive. Okay. And if you can ask something fun, if you can ask, something that people might just have an opinion, because most people do, and they like to express that opinion, then that gives them an opportunity to do that. Okay. Next is inspirational. Everyone has a personal story. Everyone has a story. Okay. Raquel, you have a story. Junior, you have a story as to why you got into the business that you're in. And, I think that is what's going to separate you from everyone else that's posting. And I'm just going to use my experience, but with real estate, anyone that's posting just sold, just listed, just, coming soon, which are great. And you want to mix all of those in, but also your story, who you are, is going to separate you from anyone else. Okay. So use your story, share with your audience, on your family, your friends, your hobbies, what you like to do. If you enjoy baseball, you enjoy football, that's your team. You have pets. I have a pet. I have a dog, and I show her, on my Instagram, and people know my dog's name, with me not even knowing them, necessarily. But it's just kind of like they get to know you and who you are. So aside from business, okay. All right. So I'm gonna take a moment really quick. And does anybody have any questions?
I have a quick question, Lisette. So you talked about different platforms that you use. What are your thoughts about Threads?
Yeah. So Threads is another one as well. So thank you for putting that one in. That's something that I've slowly also incorporated too. But it's definitely another platform that is growing, right? It's new. So people are hopping on. And like I said, I would incorporate that into my other ones. So whether you have a presence on, let's say you have a presence on YouTube already, and you want to lead people to Threads, start putting those links of all of your other platforms on there. But yeah, that's another place to definitely show up. I think the more places you can lead them to, more of like a funnel. Okay, this is where I'm leading them to this one to the next one. The more you just start showing up naturally, organically,
Right.
but you're directing them.
Yeah, in your opinion, what age group do you think Threads targets? What age group do you think Threads will target? Because said with like Instagram, they have a certain age group. How about Threads? What's your opinion?
Yeah, so Threads, I think, is going to be targeting more of the audience that it's kind of like X. I would kind of put those into comparison as to those two. Because you can share videos, you can still share photos, but you can also put in, what your thoughts are. And I think it'd be probably very similar to X as well, but I would say right now, since it's growing and it's trending, everybody's just hopping on. So it'll somehow get into that, I guess, more specific age bracket soon. But I would compare it more to X.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
If you already have a social media platform, your personal one, do you suggest like making one specifically for real estate or using the one that you currently have?
I love this question because use the one you currently have. Okay. I know there's a lot of people that will do a business page and a personal page, but really if you're in real estate, I'm, just saying, but if you're a business owner, this is part of your life. This is part of your story. So you want people to know, and who you have on your personal page, they already like you, they know you, they trust you. And that's pretty much what people start doing. That's their reasons to do business with you. And if you already have that audience there and you just start incorporating that, now I wouldn't say to start bombarding your feed with a bunch of educational stuff. Because some people, maybe it's not their thing. They don't want to be, taught a bunch of educational stuff. So that's why I say a mixture of all of these things. So a mixture of some education, some entertainment, get them to engage on your stories, on your lives, but also put in your family, your friends, your hobbies, for them to get to know you. And I really like this question also for the fact that, I think a lot of people get scared as to, well, maybe I'm going to lose some people because they're not going to like my the information that I put out or the real estate that I put in. Okay. So if in case these people leave, I don't want you to have any fear as to, oh, they're going to leave. And these people, if they leave because they don't follow you anymore, then they were probably never going to be a client anyways, or they were not going to buy from you. They weren't going to support you anyways. So try to flip that mindset as well, because the right people who will show up for you and the right people who will buy from you and like and trust you will do that. So I would say just keep it into one and just slowly incorporate all these different things into it. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. So the only thing that I struggle with, my page is I share a lot of like personal stuff or travel, or a lot of it is mainly like, I'm known more for like fitness. So it's kind of like, how do I incorporate like the real estate and still keep the fitness? You know what I'm saying?
So, okay. So is that part of your business as well?
No, that's
just
my
something that you
followers.
like?
That's something that I like, and my followers, like the majority, like that's what they know me for,
Yeah.
Because I compete in bodybuilding and stuff. So that's like kind of, I just am having trouble transitioning or just kind of, incorporating it.
Yeah. Well, I think a huge piece of what I'm going to be going over as well is being authentic. Okay. This is part of who you are and your story, and just being upfront about it. Hey, this is your audience, your fitness audience, who care about that. But you're going to start, you have something else going on. So start putting that out there. If you want to grow into your real estate business, people are going to have to know you're in real estate.
Right.
And if you have that audience, well, that audience still buys and sells homes. They can buy and sell a home with you, so that audience is there. You've already grown it. Now you can start incorporating that. And maybe I would just suggest maybe starting it out through your stories, because stories is, and I'll talk a little bit more about that, but stories is also where you can be as authentic. You can start telling people, hey, this is what I'm into. This is what I'm going on. And to start growing that awareness with your audience.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you guys for your questions. All right. So let's go ahead and start diving a little deeper into this. Okay. So we're posting with purpose. Okay. So we're being intentional about what we're posting. It's not just things that we put together. But I should be very careful with that, because I have some things that I've put together and I've curated very professionally, so I have the videos that are a little bit more tailored than some other videos where I do want it to show up more raw, more personal, more, just, hey, I'm putting on my makeup in the bathroom, those types of videos. So there's a mixture of those as well. But we post with the purpose as to what we're posting, why we're posting them. So like I said, Instagram has been a huge success for me, my business, and growing that. So here's a little bit on what I use on these different types of content. Okay. So the reels, like I said, these are short video clips. They're things that are going to stop a scroll very quickly. So these are for entertainment. Okay. So you're going to use this to attract a large audience, some new followers, And I just show some examples as to what I've included, because these are some local things that I've been able to film and be able to create into a reel. And we'll talk a little bit more also on the analytics side. So, okay. And now we have some stories. So stories are going to be to build your community, and you also make your sales in the stories as well. Okay, so building your community, talking to people, asking questions, building that engagement. That's what your stories is about. These are kind of like your bloopers, if you want to say, because they're going to go away in 24 hours. So they're short clips. They're something that you can talk to and ask questions to your community. Next are going to be the carousels. So these are for educating. Maybe you've seen those to where you just swipe a couple of times and you start seeing, all your different types of, maybe some things that you want to learn, maybe some tips. Those would be the carousels. Okay. Going on live is another thing that you guys can use. So lives are to start conversations and just to build that awareness as well. So once you do go live, and I know this is another topic that some people are on the fence about at times, but lives build your awareness as well. Okay. So when you go live, you do see a post at the top that this person went live or this person is going live. That builds your awareness more to show up on their phones. Okay. All right. So let's go on. I know we're running on time, short on time. Okay. So be the go-to person. And how do we do this? Okay. These are some examples as to, I've gotten some questions as to, hey, I'm going to Visalia, to Larry. Do you know any of the good spots to eat? Okay. Or, hey, I saw one of your videos and I was searching up Visalia and I saw you and I, started going through your content. And that's really what it's about. It's about creating that local awareness that you are from that place and you are the expert on that location. So how do we do this? Well, we start engaging with our people, our community. Okay. So start engaging with people that are in your area. You comment, you like, you share, and you can use other people's content as well. Okay. So posting other people's posts onto yours, onto your stories, sharing that, you start creating those connections. Next is creating some unique content. So business to business collaborations. Okay, so creating some shareable content that resonates with your audience. So the local coffee shops, the good places to eat, your favorite spots to go to, any landmarks that are very relevant to your location. I'm in Central California, so we have our own landmarks here. But if in your area, where your landmarks, start posting about it. Maybe doing a little reel, give some information about it. Go to your local coffee shop. Maybe a new one just opened up down the street. You want to go and showcase, hey, I'm at this new shop. Love this coffee, whatever. It just something that you can post. Okay. Another thing is to leverage on local events and trends. So everybody has maybe a chamber around them. I signed up for their newsletter, which shows any new places that have opened up or they're going to open up. They have a grand opening, and you participate in those. And maybe you can do a little video onto what businesses are opening up. And next is to analyze and adapt your strategy. So knowing what works and doing more of it. Okay. So let's go into a little bit on measuring success and adjusting the strategies. Every platform has analytics of some sort. Okay. I don't know a whole lot on these numbers, but I know what works. Okay. So if a post is getting more attention than a last post that I did, well, this post is going to be posted more often. This type of content is getting more attention. And so I should be posting a little bit more like that one, right? So it makes more sense once you start seeing what is working, what's not working, and just do more of what is working. And what I focus on a lot too is how many accounts are reached, how many views are getting, where is this video or post, is it getting even any attention? Because if it's not, then something's not working. Okay. I will also say this too, if you're just starting out, with understanding what will hit with your audience, try a couple things. Okay. So because at the beginning, you don't really know what's going to hit. Maybe you do a video, a live, or you do a post, or maybe you do a community post like that, like the one that I have here. You have to know what's going to work, and you got to just try a few things, and whatever works, continue doing it. Okay. Next is sustaining a local icon status. And pretty much what this means is being consistent. Okay. Social media is pretty much, like Robert says, it's a numbers game with getting, contacts. Well, being consistent, this is also a numbers game as well. So, let me see. Okay. So it's a numbers game as well. So you have to be consistent with posting. And like I said, don't try to go on all different types of platforms. It's just being consistent on doing it. Maybe, be adding this into your business plan to be consistent every week, start putting it maybe twice a week, things like that. Being intentional as to what you're posting, okay, is super important. I would say to be intentional, meaning, I think I had it on this other one, but being intentional is, why are you posting this? Okay. I always tell everyone is to put a call to action if you can. A call to action means telling your audience what they can do next. Okay. So if it's at the end, you're either telling them, A, follow me for more. B, if you're ready to buy or sell, contact me, right? Or if you're in a different industry, if you maybe you want them to like, you want them to comment, you want them to share, those are things that you are intentionally directing your audience to do. Okay. And next is to be authentic. Okay, this is huge because a lot of people, it can get very tiring if you are not. So that's why I say showcase the behind the scenes, showcase what it is like in a day in your life, because it's not always perfect. Okay, and just showing that, it makes you more human and it makes you more relatable, which is huge. And yeah, so that is a huge one as well. Adding, I know we're getting to the 2025 very soon. And as a business owner, you are preparing for your next year by now, hopefully. And now to incorporate social media into your business plan, I believe is very crucial. Knowing what's going on in your market, being that local expert, and putting that intentionally into your business plan for next year. Okay. And the next is staying connected to evolving local and social media trends. We're going to be going over next month our tips and tools as to what I've used, what I know works. Of course, ChatGPT is the hot topic, but there are other AI tools that I've used and I've loved. And so I'm going to share that with you guys next month on November 27th, same time and same Zoom ID. So save it to your calendars, show up on time. And I think I'll go ahead and leave it to any questions for now before we close out.
Yes, I have a question. Lizette. Thank you for the information. I'm trying to get into social media, trying to post stuff, but I don't do it a lot. I want to do it more often. I'm just a little, I don't know what to use as far as video and equipment to use for taking videos. Do you have any special equipment that you're using? Or you have some videographer walking with you, or what do you have, or what kind of equipment are you using?
Just of possibly getting a videographer, but as of now, it's just your phone. It's just your phone on what you have. I would recommend, just as of right now, because I will be going over into a little bit more depth on the next month, but just it'll be your phone, probably getting a mic set. And I get everything on Amazon. So I'm an Amazon frequent shopper.
Okay.
So just like the mics, the Bluetooth mics, that way your sound quality is good. And probably a ring light is the next. I think those would be like my three top tools to get started. Now you want to go into a little bit more in depth, then there's a couple other things that I've added, but those three things. Once you're going out to maybe just have somebody, if you're there with your partner or a friend, have them record you. Like, hey, record me walking into the coffee shop. I've had my nephew do that. And just so I have those clips, like, hey, just just film me walking into the coffee shop and get the name and just kind of like creating that image. But really it's just your phone. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I have a question for you. So one of the things that I recently started, this kind of touches social media, and this is going through my RedX account, through my dialer also, and that's using meta ads to target certain audiences, whether it's for my listings or my expired campaigns, open houses. What's been your luck? Have you tried it, and have you had any luck with it or any results with meta ads?
With meta ads through Facebook. I've tried it and I have had luck with it. I just think for me, when I was starting out, I was like, well, what's free and what can I use before paying for it? And I felt that I was able to grow a little bit more on just organic, creating and being super intentional as to what you're posting. That way it does get shared. It does cause that attention, because ads work. Anything really works if you're paying attention to it. You're putting money into it as well. But I would say, yeah, if you do have that already, you can start pushing maybe more content out. And I just think to get started, you don't necessarily have to do that, because it can be grown organically. Okay. But it's successful too. So I know a lot of people who have used it, and they'll create a piece of content and they'll push money into that for it to get a little bit more exposure if needed. All right. Any other questions? Think we're good. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Robert, for letting me host. So I'll be doing another one next month. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys there. I know that Robert goes over a bunch of scripts, showing you guys the skills and everything like that. So this is more adding to your skill set as well, and having people just get to know who you are. I always say this too, is you can have the best pizza shop in town, but if no one knows that you are the best pizza shop, then, it makes it a little difficult. But whenever people do know, then it makes it a lot easier. It makes business a lot easier. And yeah. So let me go ahead and